Hey guys, good morning. We're going to continue today to work on decimals. Instead of multiplying, we're going to go dividing today. So it looks like I got on a little bit early, so I'm going to wait a minute or two and then we'll get started. I hope everyone's having a good day. Okay, you guys, I'm going to go ahead and get started. So if we look at this first word problem, it says your cell phone plan is $35 a month, and each text you send is $20 per text. So how much is your 30-day bill if you send one text a day? Okay, this is just going to kind of be a review. So what you'd have to do is, so we'll say there's 30 days in a month, and it's 20 cents a text. So this is going to be a multiplication part. We're just going to review before we go to division. So what that would be is 0.0006, and there's two decimals, so it'd be $6 plus your monthly plan is $35. So the total would be $41. Okay. And that would be a word problem you might get on the test. So it says your cell phone plan is $35 a month. So it's important you want to kind of underline the $35, and then it's $20 per text. And this says you send one text a day. We're just going to say there's 30 days in a month. Sometimes there's 31, sometimes there's 28. But if they ask you a month, just say 30 days. So it'd be $6 in text plus your base bill of $35. So it comes out to $41 total. Okay. I'm going to transition. That was just a review of multiplication. That was a multiplication word problem, a little addition to. But now we're going to go into kind of a division problem here. So I'll do a word problem here too, but it's going to be about division. So it says if let me get a different color here. It doesn't come out very well, you guys. If the texting portion of your plan is $15 a month, and you send 500 texts a month, how much does it cost per text? How much does it cost per text? Okay. So for this one, what we do is it would be $15 divided by 500. Because your plan's $15 and you send 500 texts a month. We're trying to find out how much each text costs. Okay, so how we do that, we would do this says 15 divided by 500. So the 500 is going to go on the outside, and the 15 is going to go on the inside. But when we look at this, we realize 500 is bigger than 15. So what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to add some zeros here. Okay. So we put the decimal there, and then we're going to put, we'll start with 2 zeros. Okay. Then you're going to do, how many times does 500 go into, let's say 150? And we know, well, the first thing you want to do is move this decimal up. So 500 doesn't go into 150. It's 0 times. Okay. Then how many times does 500 go into 1500? Well, that would be 3 times. And you do 3 times that 0, 0, 15. And that's going to equal 0. So what it says is each text would be 3/100ths of a cent. Okay, so your answer is going to be 0.03. So it's always important to remember, you guys, when the number inside the division thing is smaller than the number on the outside, we're going to have to add some zeros. Okay, this time I added 2. Maybe sometimes you have to add 3. Start with 2 and see how it goes. Okay, so let's look at, we'll do some more of these division problems here. Okay, so if we have on the test, it says 15 divided by 400. Okay, so what you're going to do is, in this case, it's going to be 400 into 15. And once again, we see that 400 is bigger than the 15. So we're going to have to add some zeros here. I'll start with 3 this time. Okay, let me move this down a little bit so we have some room to do this. Okay, remember first thing we want to do is move the decimal up. Okay, sometimes this 400 go into 150, it goes 0 times. How many times 400 go into 1500? Well, 3 times 4 is 12. 4 times 4 is 16, so we know it's going to be 3 times. So this would be 3 times 4 is going to be 1200. Okay, and what we're going to have to do is 0, 0, 3, and then bring this 0 down. Now 4 goes into 30, if we want to look at it that way, 7 times. And we know 4 times 7 is 28, so we're going to do 28, 0, 0. And we're going to, this is going to give us 200. And that's not, 400 is too big, so what we're going to have to do is add another 0, bring that down. And how many times does 4 go into 20? It's going to be 5 times. So what your answer is going to be is 0.375. Okay. And the zeros, you guys, I started with 3. The one before I did 2. So you can keep putting zeros onto 15. It doesn't change it. Just keep in mind, 15 can be written as 15.0, 15.00, 15.00000. You can put as many zeros as you want to the right of the decimal. It's not going to change the number. 15 can be written all those ways, okay? So it's not changing the number, but we do have to keep adding zeros until we get to no remainder left, okay? So I started, like I said, this one I started with 3. The one before I started with 2. You know, you can start with how many you want. And if you don't get to them, that's fine. But until we get no remainder, we're going to have to keep adding zeros. So let's look at another one here. if we did 24 divided by 120. Okay, so what that would mean, it's 120 divided by 24. And we know that obviously 24 or 120 is bigger than 24. So we're going to have to add a 0. And we want to bring this decimal point up. One thing to remember, you guys, is you can just, when you have zeros, this could just be like 12 into 24. And we know 12 goes into 24 2 times. So if I do 2 times 120, it's 240. So this one would just be 0.2. Okay, I only added 1 0 there. Okay, because I knew what it was going to be. But if you added more zeros, that's fine. But you're going to get 0 here. So you don't have to worry about bringing any of those zeros down. And if you wanted, you could do that. It's still the same. It's still going to be 0.2. Okay, those zeros really don't mean anything. Just like I said over here, 15.0, 15, 15.000, they all equal 15. Okay, so let's do one more here. If we did 33 divided by 44. Okay, so we're going to go 44. Well, let me go down a little bit. Oops. Okay. So in this case, we know that 44 is bigger than the 33, so we're going to add some zeros here. I'll start with 3. Maybe we don't get to them, maybe we do. Okay, so how many times does 44 go into 330? Well, if you think about it, if we had, if you need a starting point, you could just look at, well, how many times does 4, maybe say 40 go into 30? We're going to say 7 times. That's 28. Okay. If you did 8 times, it's 32, but remember, it's 4.4, so it's a little bit bigger. So it's actually going to be 7. And you guys, you can certainly use a calculator for this, but if you're doing it longhand, it's going to be 7 times. Okay. And then 7 times 4 is 28. We want to carry the 2. So it's 7 times 4 again is 28, plus the 2 is 30. And then we're going to, 10 minus 8 is 2. 2 minus 0 is 2. And then we're going to bring down this 0. And how many times does 44 go into 220? Well, that is, I forgot to bring the decimal up, would be 5 times. 5 times 4 is 20. Carry the 2. 5 times 4 is 20 plus 2, so that's 22. And we're going to get 0. So we didn't have to bring that last 0 down. I started with 3. We only needed 2. So the thing to remember, you guys, is I think where it sometimes gets confusing is when you get, and I'll show you with a different one. If we got 35 divided by 105, this number, the second one is going to be on the outside, and the first one is on the inside. Okay, so it's divided by the second number. That's the number we're dividing into the first number. So that second number here always goes on the inside of like that little division thing. Okay, so what I want to do now is I want to show you when you actually have a number with a decimal in it. Okay, and we'll continue to work on these. So if we got 3.68 divided by 0.4. Okay, so what's this would mean? The second number goes on the outside, so 0.4 divided by 3.68. Okay, so what we can't do is we can't divide with a decimal in there. We have to move that decimal 1 point over. So we're going to move it over here. And if we move the decimal on the outside, we have to also move the number on the inside by 1. So now it's going to be 4 divided by 36.4. 0.8. And let me move that over a little bit. So it's going to be 4 divided by 36.8. And the first thing we want to do is move this decimal up. Okay, sometimes it's 4 going to 36. It's going to be 9 times. 9 times 4 is 36. That's 0. Then we bring the 8 down. How many times 4 going to 8? 2. So that's going to be 9.2. Okay, just remember when there's a decimal in the outside number, we have to get rid of that decimal. And usually what we can do is we can multiply it by 10 or 100, because that's just going to move the decimal either 1 point or 2 points. And if we move the outside one, we have to do the same to the inside, okay? So let's do this one. So this one was, we get 0.87 divided by 0.3. Okay, so what that means is it's going to be 0.3 divided by 0.87. But we have that decimal here. So all we're going to do, we're going to multiply both numbers by 10. Okay, so that's going to give us 3 divided by 8.7, or you can keep the 0 in there. So you want to bring that decimal right up. Sometimes it's 3 going to 8, it goes 2 times. 2 times 3 is 6. 8 minus 6 is 2. We bring the 7 down. Now 3 goes into 27 9 times. So the answer is going to be 2.9. So just remember, whenever you have a decimal on the outside, you're going to have to multiply it by 10 or 100, because we have to get rid of that decimal. And if we multiply that number by 10 or 100, we have to multiply the other number by 100. So whatever we do to the numbers, we have to treat them the same. So if we multiply the one by 10, we have to multiply the other by 10. Or if we multiply it by 100, we have to multiply the other by 100, okay? So what I will do, I'm going to go ahead and I'll post some practice. The answers are going to be in there too. And I think how I did it, the answers are all on one page, and you'll see it says one is dividing by a whole number and the other is dividing by decimal. So there's going to be, I think, 9 problems dividing with just whole numbers, and then there's going to be 9 dividing with actual decimals in them. So just remember too, you guys, just to go over this again, and I think this gets confusing for some of us, is if it's 33 divided by 44, this 44, this number is going to go on the outside, and the 33 is going to go on the inside, because you're dividing by this number, and that's always going to go on the outside there. Okay. And when you get your answers, you can look at them. If you didn't make that change, you're not going to get the right answer. So remember, the second number is always going to go on the outside, and the first number is going to go on the inside there. Okay. All right, we'll pick this up again. We're not going to have class tomorrow. I will post some more practice, but we'll pick this up again on Monday. All right, you guys, have a wonderful rest of your week, and I will see you guys soon. Bye.